Our foundation is a non-profit foundation, and it was created in 2012. Our team has grown in time. There have been some volunteers, or for a while I worked pretty much alone, but now we have 6 people, and altogether we have 4 jobs. 2 people are working full-time and other people are working part-time, and our headquarters is in Tallinn. Altogether, currently we have approximately 70 schools, or in Estonia we can also say schools and study places, because some schools are divided into different study places. So among these 70 schools and study places, there are a couple of schools that have been implementing KiVa from the beginning, from 2013. There are over 10 of schools like that, and we have recruited schools step by step, pretty much every year. Some cohorts are smaller, for example 7 schools, some cohorts are bigger, 11 schools, but the very recent cohort has been the biggest one yet. So we had 25 new schools that started implementing KiVa this school year. We try to offer KiVa program or sell KiVa program with quality. This means that we give out the message that KiVa is the best tool available. It is science-based, it is evidence-based, it has this and this and this tool for you, dear teacher or dear headmaster. And we actually have kind of a competition, or we want schools to apply to actually start using the KiVa program. So after that, when the school applies for the use of KiVa program, we will do an interview with them. We will ask them different questions about how they're thinking about implementing different pieces of the KiVa program in their school system. And if everything works out well, then we agree to sign a contract with them, for example. But we try to give the message of KiVa out through media, through social media. We also do some sort of emails to specific school personnel, for example, to try to get them thinking about KiVa. But what we see after 5 years, or now going into the 6th year of KiVa in Estonian schools, we see the word to mouth is also working very well. Schools that are implementing KiVa and have had their successes, they share these stories, and more schools want to join. So the first training a school goes through is actually a headmaster training. The headmaster is invited to a one-day training to learn how to lead this change that needs to happen when a school starts implementing the KiVa program. And after that, the school headmaster can also do some self-analysis and school analysis to see what needs to take place and what changes have to happen before the KiVa team, for example, can come to the next training, which is the basic training. The basic training is a 2-day training. We have 2 trainers for those 2 days, and during these 2 days, each school sends about 4 people to this training. This is the KiVa team from each school, and they learn the basics of KiVa. And also, since this team is going to be responsible for tackling the bullying cases, they are also learning about the methods of KiVa case solving. So after that training, they're going to their school, back to their school, and they can start coordinating this program even further to be able to start implementing KiVa the next school year. So this basic training and the headmaster training we have every spring time. So when they join the program, they are ready to go in August next year. We have developed, in addition to the original KiVa program, some support mechanisms. For example, we have mentors for our schools. We have currently 2 mentors. Each mentor has 25 schools all around Estonia, and they hold contact with their schools. If necessary, every day they answer their emails or phone calls. They try to make it to visit the school at least twice per school year. So they try to really motivate and answer every small or big question a school might have if implementing the KiVa program. But for example, we also have kind of supervision groups. We offer this school year, for example, in 4 different cities around Estonia. So schools from different regions can gather approximately 4 times a school year to this city, where a supervisor helps them tackle the cases or ask more personal or difficult questions that they haven't been able to solve in their own school. One of the biggest challenges for our foundation, and I think this might be a challenge in other countries as well, is that doing anti-bullying work is kind of, well, it's maybe not the right word, but it has become more popular. So there are different programs or different people who want good in their hearts, so they want to offer different things to schools to tackle the bullying. But since not everything available to schools is actually efficient and effective, then we still need to do a lot of explaining that KiVa program has been really researched. It is really evidence-based, that in Estonia we have also seen already very convincing evidence that you can decrease bullying, and that we have, for example, very good support to offer to the school implementing KiVa year after year, every day if needed. So we still have to put a lot of effort into this kind of convincing work. We consider our biggest success story how we've managed to decrease the rate of bullying or the rate of victims in our schools. So since we are now in 2018 going forward with our 6th KiVa year, we see that those schools that had implemented KiVa for 5 years until this spring, they have seen a very steady decrease in the victim rates. For example, the decrease from 2013 to 2018 has been approximately 30%. And other cohorts implementing the program for less years, they are also showing a steady decrease, or at least if they had been using the program for only first year, the decrease still was, the jump down was really big. And also we've seen the decrease in bullying rates, for example. If you have already made the decision to go for KiVa, I think you've made a really good decision. And after that, what we've seen is what is really necessary is to think forward at least 4-5 steps if possible. What are your goals? How many schools do you want to reach? How are you funding yourself? Do you want to engage in any other activities besides only offering KiVa as well? So try to really take into account what are your ambitions as an organization, because this has an effect on how many people you need to have, when and how fast you need to train your trainers, print your materials, and so on. So this is one of the biggest challenge we've had to face, but also the biggest lesson, and now we are really trying to look forward at least a few years. So our plans for the future are that we will try to grow our network, 25 schools every year. If, of course, it is possible, we can also always recruit more schools if more schools are interested and we have more resources to do that, for example. But that is one big goal for us that we want to reach, to at first 50% to Estonian schools, maybe in the very far future 90% of Estonian schools. But also we have some smaller goals to reach. For example, in Estonia we have to think about Russian-speaking schools, or how we can offer support to schools also that haven't made the decision to join the KiVa network yet.